What's goody? It's your host, Jay Rose, as always, and welcome back to the BagTalk podcast. We just gonna get into the playoff games, the results, what that means for the next round, because I've been inactive for a week. Let's get into it. Over 90% of the people that watch my content are not subscribed, so if you're messing with the videos, please hit that sub button and the noti bell so you'll get notified every time I upload. But let's get back to the hoops. So the elephant in the room that I feel like I gotta address first is really Minnesota versus Denver, because that series has been all over the place from jump. I didn't expect Minnesota to win the first two, but after they won the first two, I absolutely did not expect the rest of the series to go the way that it did. I assumed that the Timberwolves would win one of their games at home, and I definitely didn't think they were going to lose three straight. They lost two straight at home. They beat Denver in Denver, where Denver doesn't lose. Denver never loses at home. That's their bread and butter. If you're going to beat Denver, beating them at home is the key. So if you beat them at home, your home record yourself is very, very good. I'm not expecting you guys to come out and lose on your home floor. They lost twice. And then we go back to Denver and they lose game what would that be? Game 5. So now we go to game 6. And game 6, brother, what in the world is this? 70 to 115, almost a 50-point L in game 6. And we can look at Jokic, 22, did not shoot well. Jamal Murray, 10 points, 4 for 18 is abysmal. We got Michael Porter Jr., 8 points, only took 9 shots. Where the minutes at? 31 minutes. That's actually a lot of minutes for a blowout like this. I would have expected it to be a lot less, but it's a playoff game, so I understand. And we can go down. We see Anthony Edwards had a really good game, 27 on 8 for 17. We got Cat, who didn't really do much. He had 10. Mike Conley, 13. We had Jaden McDaniels pulling up again with 21 points on 8 for 10. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. Just looking at the box score and seeing the patterns, this looks like why they won. And I know going on those runs that Jaden McDaniels hit a bunch of threes, and oh yeah, Timberwolves went on a 20-0 run, they went on a 13-0 run, they went on a 10-0 run, all in different quarters. So they were just stomping them, to be honest. And even when the bench units came in and it was garbage time players versus garbage time players, you got a guy like Nickeil Alexander-Walker just lighting them up. We got Luke Garza lighting them up. So it was just a really, really hot shooting game. Actually, it doesn't even look that crazy. 37% from 3, 46% from the field. So that means, honestly, Denver just played like shit. 19% from 3 isn't getting it done. 30% from the field is not getting it done. So this was just an uncharacteristically bad game for Denver. You can see 70 points is kind of insane. 70 points is really nasty work. So, yeah. Going into game 7, obviously, everyone wants a prediction, and I don't have one. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to stay with my main prediction, which was Denver in 7, and my heart says Timberwolves in 7. That was literally my main prediction, verbatim. So I'm going to stick with that. If the Timberwolves win, I'm happy. If the Nuggets win, I thought so. Word. But this has been a great series, very back and forth, very entertaining, very unpredictable. This is one of the most unpredictable basketball series I've ever seen. So if you don't have a prediction for game 7, I don't blame you, because I've never seen a team dominate those 3 games like Denver did and then come out and lose by 50. Like, that's such a crazy thing. I've never seen such a stark contrast. And even with the T-Wolves, I've seen that happen before. You win 2 straight, you get confident, and then you lose 3 straight or 4 straight. I've seen that. But seeing a team win 3 straight, you look like you completely stole the momentum. Honestly, Edwards, his swag and the way it's just meshing off the other players is awesome. Bro's walking in the arena talking about I'll see y'all in game 7. That's gangsta. That's gangsta. Bro left Denver talking about I'll see y'all in game 7. That's tough. And I know that absolutely rubbed off on the team, gave them some more confidence, and they came out and they did this. So, hey, who knows? Game 7 is really going to be a toss-up. I think it's going to be an exciting series regardless. I'm very excited for that. But we can get on to the next series too. Honestly, there's not much more for me to say about that. And Edwards going off. He had a 40 ball the other night and they still lost. Jokic going off. He had a 40 ball the other night and they won. So I'm just saying, these guys are going off. There's a lot of great basketball being played, especially in this series. Super unpredictable. I have no idea where to start with this team. But hey, we're going to get into the next series, which is the Mavericks versus the Thunder. And honestly, the Thunder have dug themselves a really big hole. This series should be over already. I feel like if Dallas did not completely troll away what game would that be? Game 4, that this series would be over. I don't think there's any reason for the Thunder to still be here. They've shown that the team as a whole is not really doing it right now. They're not. And you can just look at this box score and it'll tell you all you need to know, for real. On the Thunder side, at least, we have Shea, 30 points, 12 for 22. Gotta watch face. Only 6 free throws. And we got Chet, 5 for 11. Jalen Williams, 6 for 13, 12 points. Chet, 13 points. These aren't enough shots. Lou Dort shot 11 times and went 2 for 8. Isaiah Show shot 9 times, went 2 for 9, 2 for 8 from 3. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Josh Giddey actually had a pretty decent game this game, and they subbed him out for Isaiah Joe. So I feel like the Thunder coach should definitely be able to look at the scenarios and adjust on the fly. Like, why do you have Cason Wallace playing 27 minutes when he's not hitting a shot? Lou Dort is one thing. I think Lou Dort is one of your rotational pieces that you keep in no matter what, but Isaiah Joe is not. So him playing 22 minutes, shooting 2 for 9, not hitting a shot, that's a lot of minutes. That's a lot of lost production for Cason Wallace as well. I guess he's their 6th man, so I can also understand him getting those minutes. But you have Josh Giddey, who you put on the bench because he's not playing well. You have this Wiggins dude who has been playing very, very well, Aaron Wiggins. So I don't see why not give them some more tick, especially if since tonight, Josh Giddey was one of your better contributors. 11 points in 12 minutes, and Jalen Williams gave you 12 and 40. Chet gave you 13 and 40. So Lou Dort gave you 12 and 40. So I'm just saying, if you gave Josh Giddey a little bit more time, maybe this game looks a little different for the Thunder. But as is, they just did not play well. They didn't shoot well from 3 at all. Their regular percentage isn't terrible, but it's not good either. We flip over to Dallas, and they played a really well-balanced, complete game. I'm kind of disappointed in Kyrie. Usually, especially in wins, I'll feel Kyrie's impact and I'll excuse the points. Kyrie has been doing his best Chris Paul impression for some reason, and he won't shoot the ball. And he's waiting until the second half to start getting aggressive, and that's not going to work against a team like Denver, so that worries me. I don't think if we play Denver or Minnesota in the next round, either team, that Kyrie is going to be able to get away with only playing one half of basketball. And he's definitely not going to be able to get away with playing one half of basketball and barely doing anything the whole game. Like 12 points, 4 rebounds, or 12 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. He played efficiently, but he just didn't do much. The impact wasn't really there. I felt Derrick Jones Jr. He was all over the place. He was an airplane. Bro's catching lobs from half court, or was that Lively that caught the lob from half court? But either way, he caught a bunch of lobs. He hit 3 threes. It was a great game for Derrick Jones Jr., and we absolutely need a role player to show up big like this every night for us if we want to win a championship. Factual. And Luka came out, and I thought it was done. I thought he was going to look like he was on half a tire for the rest of the NBA playoffs, because that's just what it's been, to be honest. And Luka, y'all know Luka's my guy, so I'm not going to get on here and try to trash my dude, but I am critical of him. He's playing better than your favorite player is right now, but he's not playing up to his standard. And I believe that if Luka was fully healthy, I believe if Luka wasn't having knee pain and ankle pain and back pain and landing on his face and being kicked by Lou Dort every damn game, I do believe we would be in a way better position right now. I think this is a team that, if Luka is 100% and if Kyrie is being aggressive, this is a championship roster. I feel like PJ Washington has showed us that he can turn it on. His jump shot has been on for the playoffs. Derrick Jones Jr. has been a little iffy, but he showed up when we needed him. And the defense is also amazing. Lively on defense has been amazing, especially guarding super mobile centers like Chet. I think he's making it really hard for Chet to get open looks, and that's why he's only taking 11 shots in a game. I'm completely tired of Tim Hardaway Jr. I think I can go probably the rest of my days without seeing Tim Hardaway Jr. play another game. That's just me though. I don't think I need to see him in a Maverick uniform next year. I really don't. I'm glad that Jason Kidd made the adjustment to take out Dante Exum and put in Jaden Hardy, even though Jaden Hardy had a shitty game. He's not scared to shoot the ball. And Dante Exum, the only reason that you are effective is because your ball handling is really good and your shooting was pretty decent this season. And when you're not being aggressive, so you're not dribbling the ball and you're not shooting the ball, what are you here for? So he put him on the bench. He got the jitters. We can't have that right now. We cannot have that right now. And honestly, as you can see, Tim Hardaway Jr.'s minutes are down to 12 minutes. He played 12 minutes this game. I do kind of want to see what he played in the game before that as well, because I feel like he's just been on a downward trot. This game was a complete troll. Game 4 was a complete troll. The Mavericks were in control the entire game. We lost by straight free throws. Look at 2 for 4, 2 for 4, 2 for 4, 1 for 2, 4 for 6, including a clutch free throw missed, 1 for 3. As you can see, we were not hitting free throws. And we lost by 4. So let's say each of you make one more free throw, we win this game. Let's say Lively makes one more too. We win by 2. We lost for straight free throws. We choked the game away at the end. Shea absolutely dogged us in that fourth quarter. Dogged us. But I came here for Tim Hardaway Jr. minutes. He played 23 minutes, 2 for 4, 2 for 4. This is not even a terrible game. So to see his minutes drop after a game like this is kind of funny. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of what Tim Hardaway Jr. has been doing, not only in the playoffs but honestly this season. I thought he started off really hot, and I was rooting for him to get 6th man of the year at some point. But honestly, as the season progressed, he just got worse and worse and worse. I feel like as Kyrie got better, and then we added the PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, when we started to really look like a complete team, his role got diminished. And this is not a good role for him. I feel like he's like an MPJ kind of player, where if you give him the rock, he's a black hole. He's not passing it back out. So you give Tim Hardaway Jr. the rock, and he's hitting me with air balls and then shooting twice in the same possession, hitting the bottom of the backboard. He's not good enough to play that role. I don't think his IQ is high enough to play that role. In order to play that role effectively, I think you have to know when to swing it. You have to know when you're off, and he just doesn't. And on top of that, he's a defensive liability. So I would prefer Tim Hardaway Jr. to not be on our roster next season. That's just me though. I'm a little hypercritical of these players, but I feel like we can get value out of Tim Hardaway Jr. We probably should have traded him already, and there's no reason for him to come back next season, in my opinion. I feel like the only reason he's not completely benched like Dante Exum is because we want to trade him. And if you get benched throughout the playoffs, or you get benched for a whole series, that's just a bad look. So a minute cut is one thing. You're playing bad, you get your minutes cut, but 0, a donut is crazy. So I believe he'll probably get PT for the remainder of the playoffs, but just not anything extensive, because he's not really giving us much production. So I don't really see why I put him on the floor at this point. The next series, I'm not gonna talk about this next series for too long, because I do want to make a video specifically on the player that is being affected by this series the most. But that series is Boston versus Cleveland, and I think that Cleveland, honestly, I think if they would have played up to their standard and not played scary, and if Darius Garland showed up, I think that this team might have had a better shot than they gave themselves, to be honest. You can look at this last game, game 5. We got Evan Mobley had 33, right? Evan Mobley had 33. But you can see Darius Garland shot 4 for 17. And I don't think Darius Garland has had a good game in a while. I don't think Darius Garland overall has played well in the playoffs at all. And I know that's bothering Donovan Mitchell, who you don't see here. Donovan Mitchell was hurt for, I believe, the last 2 games of the series. Donovan Mitchell put on a show, though. Donovan Mitchell dropped 50 and they lost. So I can see where the frustration comes in. I'm doing so much of the heavy lifting for y'all. This is not last season. Last season, Donovan Mitchell also played like shit. So the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoffs as a collective just look like shit. But this year, Donovan Mitchell is showing y'all who he is. He's reminding y'all. I didn't forget who Donnie is. Donnie is a dog. Donovan Mitchell is a dog. He's definitely a top 3 shooting guard in the league. Hands down. Donovan Mitchell is a dog. And I believe whatever team gets him in this offseason, I'm not going to go too far deep into it because I do want to make a video on it. But I believe whatever team gets him in the offseason is good money. Great money. I think that's really playing with house money, unless you have a point guard that's 6 foot. I don't think you should have a double small backcourt. I think maybe even transitioning Donnie into a point guard role might be beneficial. I think his playmaking is very underrated. And if Devin Booker was playing point guard, I absolutely think Donovan Mitchell could play point guard. I think that's actually better. I think Donovan Mitchell at point guard would be better than Devin Booker at point guard. So I'd give it a shot. As for Cleveland, if I'm being 110% dead ass, if I'm Cleveland, I'm not trading Donovan Mitchell. Are you crazy? Darius Garland, you gotta go. You have to go. You have to. I'm not gonna lie, the age gap between the two is not big enough for me to go, okay, we're gonna take Darius Garland and we're gonna start this rebuild. Darius Garland's like 22, right? He's 24. Yeah, no. There's no shot. I'm sorry, Darius. There's absolutely no way. There's no way that I'm looking at Darius Garland and I'm taking him over Donovan Mitchell. There's no shot. Because, dude, this is the second playoffs in a row. Oh, here's a game. 30 ball, but 27, 12 for 27, 4 for 13 to get 30 is not good. That is not good. But if he was giving more production like that when Mitch was playing, this could have been a different series. And I'm just saying, if I'm Donovan Mitchell, I completely understand the frustration. And as a guy who wants to win, a guy who feels like he's in his prime, coming to this team and just having them not perform for you, like you 33 on 12 for 22 is amazing. 7 for 12 from 3. And Darius Garland has 15 on 6 for 15. Evan Mobley, 17, 8 rebounds. That's calm. But you need at least another 20 point per game scorer if we're going to do this. If you look at the Celtics, Jason Tatum had 33, Jaylen Brown 28, and then Drew chipped in 18. There's 3 players on the other team that are doing better than your second best scorer. And if Donnie's being matched by JT, you absolutely need that. I'm looking for the 50-point game because I'm very interested. It can't be this super blowout, right? Nah. Am I bugging, bro? But this is the same story again. 12 for 25, a little worse for Donnie. Still 33. And Darius Garland chipped in 14 on 15 shots. Evan Mobley, 17 on 12 shots. It's the same thing. Literally copy and paste. And Jason Tatum played like shit this game. This is a game you could have won if Darius Garland could give you 20. If Evan Mobley could give you 20. So I'm absolutely siding with Donovan Mitchell. Like, that's very annoying. Having your teammates completely underperform. I went through all the games and still haven't found the 50-point game. Like, what a guy, bro. What a guy. I did May 7th. Did they win the 50-point game? I swear they lost it. I swear they lost the 50-point game. This ain't the 50-point game either, but here you go. 10 for 19, 29. Evan Mobley gave you 20. Darius Garland gives you 14. So I just want to talk about that for a second. There's all this talk about where Donovan Mitchell's going, trading Donovan Mitchell. If I'm Cleveland, I'm trading Jarrett Allen and I'm putting Evan Mobley at the center so I can get a big body power forward, a big body stretch forward. I'm trading Darius Garland for either a taller shooting guard or a wing because there's no reason for this small backcourt to be playing together when their sole purpose of playing together is because of their offense. And if your offense is shit on one side of your duo, why are we keeping this? The same reason why I feel like Atlanta is gonna be really quick to get rid of DeJounte Murray after one season. I don't think that this is gonna be really like a sweet, you know what I'm saying, a sweet duo that we keep around for a long time. I was bugging. The 50-point game that they lost was against the Magic, so that's me. He dropped 50. Darius Garland gave you a 21-point game. Where the fuck is Evan Mobley? Where? 3 points? Gangsta, I'd be pissed off. If I'm Donovan Mitchell, absolutely I see why you want out. 100%. If I'm Cleveland, hell no, I'm not letting you go. I feel like there's not going to be any trade package that you trade Donovan Mitchell for that you're going to get anything equal out of. I think if you were to trade Donovan Mitchell, that your team would go back to obscurity because I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Cavs were not no 3-4 seed team before Donovan Mitchell got there. They were a play-in team at best. They were up and coming and a play-in team. Darius Garland is now 24, and I think he's playing probably the worst basketball since he really blew up on the scene right now. Donovan Mitchell, how old is Donnie? I know he's a little older, probably like 26. He's 27. So Donnie in the middle of his prime. He want to win. And that's probably not going to happen with this team. Not as constructed. You have a 24-year-old Garland. I feel like him being slightly younger, he's getting there to that age where it's like you're not young anymore, but he's still 24. I think you can get a lot of value out of that. More value than you'll probably get out of your superstar in terms of the equals, you know what I'm saying? Because superstars rarely ever get traded for equal value. I think the Kevin Durant trade was very equal in value. If you look at the Kyrie trade, Kyrie for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith in what, 2 seconds? That's horrible. That's terrible. I think James Harden, that was not an equal trade either, even though there was a lot of moving pieces. The second James Harden trade to Philly, that wasn't even either. So I feel like the odds of you getting a fair trade out of Darius Garland and possibly a Jared Allen is a lot higher than your odds of getting a fair trade for Donovan Mitchell, if that makes sense. So if I'm Cleveland, that's not the route I'm going. Donovan Mitchell is staying right here. I feel like it's so hard to get a superstar in today's NBA. I'd consider Donovan Mitchell to be a superstar. He's a really, really good player, and he's a playoff riser. And I feel like those are the most important players in today's NBA, people who can come into the playoffs and really let their nuts hang. And Donovan Mitchell has done that most seasons in his career. So I absolutely trust Donnie a lot more than I trust Garland, at least. I feel like trading Donovan Mitchell leaves you with this like sense of unknowing. You have no idea what's coming next after this if you trade Donovan Mitchell. I feel like if you keep him, at the very minimum, you're going to the playoffs. If you lose him, you have no idea where you're going to be at next season. You have no clue. So, you know what I'm saying? For the sense of security, the fact that y'all are winning, I think it just makes more sense to keep Donnie. But at the end of the day, I don't think he want to be there no more. He's expressed his frustration with the pretty much the inexperience of this team, and that's very valid. I'm not even arguing that. We can start off with this next series too, though. Last series we got Indiana versus the New York Knicks, and I feel like Indiana also choked their chances away. I think Indiana, this was a series that you definitely had. I think they had this, and I feel like there's no reason for them not to have this. I do want to talk about this. I'm probably not going to go too into detail because I have another video planned for this as well. But Tyrese Halliburton, bro. 13-5. 13-5. And mind you, the game previous, y'all won by hella points. You talking all your shit. No. And then you come into this game and you drop 13-5. Like, I can't defend you against anybody calling you a front runner when you do that. I personally hate that shit. It's less important to me because although I do like the Knicks, I would consider the Knicks like my second team. They're not my first team. So when you do it to Dallas, hell yeah, that's gonna piss me off. When you do it to New York, I'm not gonna be as mad, but I can still see like that's some bitch shit. I can't even put it any other way. So you come into this game, you play like shit, get completely outclassed by Jalen Brunson. In every sense of the word. Completely outclassed. Josh Hart gives you 18 and 11. He's been going off, especially on the boards. He's leading the league in the playoffs in rebounds right now, which I think is crazy for a shooting guard. Dante DiVincenzo, he's really on and off. He's been super streaky the entire playoffs. I wish he was more consistent. If he was, the series would probably be over. But I understand. These legs are definitely fried. Miles McBride doing a great job. He stepped into a very, very big role in this playoff run. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for that because this Knicks team, everybody's hurt. Even their bench players that they acquired at the trade deadline, like Bogey, he's hurt. They got Alec Burks, and Alec Burks actually has been putting in a lot of pain. So I'm surprised about that. But shoot, putting in 18, he's been shooting great from the field, great from three. So he's going to continue to get minutes. Like I said, Deuce McBride, he's put in a huge contribution. Hartenstein on the boards, especially the offensive boards, has been a unit. So, you know, the Knicks as a team just give you so much grit and hustle that it's going to be hard to beat them. And I feel like if this was a healthy team, the way that they play, I don't think the Celtics, this is a shoe out, bro. I don't. Let me not count the Pacers out. It's very possible that they still win this series. I believe they play tonight. This team is hobbled. The Knicks are hurt. The Knicks are very hurt. Tom Thibodeau has ran all of these players into the ground. Josh Hart, I remember at one point played 6 games straight without sitting on the bench. Jalen Brunson's been going through nagging injuries the whole season. He's been going through nagging injuries the whole playoffs. He's been getting beat up, and he's still playing 44 minutes a game. That's some kind of grit and determination that you're not getting out of most players. Bro's doing all of that, and he's averaging like 35 in the fucking playoffs. Like, it's kind of crazy what Jalen Brunson has been able to do in this playoff run. Being hurt the whole series, he's averaging 35 against the Pacers. In their last 10 games, he's averaging 38 points. What the fuck? What the hell? Like, what? Who is bro? Listen. I always fucked with JB. He used to be on my team, and now that he's on the Knicks, I'm glad that there's an ex-Maverick leading the Knicks team. It's like a double whammy. My second team and my old second player, boom, mixing together. And this is magic. This is literally magic. Jalen Brunson is literally the best player in the NBA right now. Scoring-wise, he is the best player in the NBA right now. Bro shooting 50% from the field, 40% from 3, averaging like 38 points. Averaging like 35 in the whole playoff run. This is crazy. This is unprecedented. This is like some James Harden regular season shit in the playoffs. And they need every single one of those points. Because if JB is not showing up, I think it's over for this team. They won those 2 games against Philly. But after that, these teams aren't Philly. These teams aren't Philly. I don't think Jalen Brunson can get away with that against the Pacers. And he absolutely can't get away with that with the Celtics. I hope the Celtics... I'm not going to lie. I hate saying this out loud because it sounds so bad. But I hope Kristaps doesn't come back. For the sole reason of... The Knicks are missing OG Anunoby. They're missing Julius Randle. They're missing Bogdanovich. They're missing Mitchell. And the players who are playing are getting run into dust like the damn Quickster from SpongeBob. It's bad. Like, these guys are playing 40-minute games every night. I don't believe that if they just hop up and play the Celtics, that's fair right now if they're fully healthy. You know, that's basketball, though. That's basketball. You can look at the Pacers. Pacers fully healthy right now, but that's the Pacers. The Celtics are a different monster. I think the Celtics are super beatable without Kristaps, and I'd like to see somewhat of a fair series if the Knicks were to go on to the second round. And honestly, due to the fact that their health is so shit at the moment, I wouldn't be mad if the Pacers ended up winning the series and playing the Celtics. I honestly don't think that they'd match up with them well. I think the Knicks probably were the best bet to beat the Celtics this season in hindsight. If they are healthy, definitely the best bet in hindsight. Hindsight is 2020 though. We all thought the Bucks had it. Giannis got hurt. Dame got hurt. Very, very weird playoff run. The Celtics are super lucky, man. The Celtics are super lucky. They played the Cavs, who also got hurt. They played the Heat, who are also hurt. They're about to play the Knicks, who are about to be hurt in the conference finals, or the Pacers. So they completely dodged the team that they were supposed to play in the conference finals, which were the Bucks. Everybody they played along the way is hurt, and they have the best team in the league. So they're about to go into the Eastern Conference Finals, only having lost 2 games the entire run. They've gotten a whole lot of rest, and shoot, if this doesn't equal a championship for the Celtics, they failed. They completely failed, and I don't think that's an understatement either. Like, I don't really believe I'm over exaggerating. I don't think they failed. Jason Tatum failed. If this specific team right here doesn't win in the climate of today's NBA, I feel like the finals are going to be very competitive, and they're going to have to play their best basketball against whatever team comes out of the West. But there's no shot. There's no shot that I can look at Jason Tatum in the same light if they don't get it done this season. Facts. Because this is not like an old LeBron where he's carrying a bunch of rosters where all the new fans won't even know most of the players on the team. Like, bro got Big Z, he got Delonte West. Like, he's taking those guys to the finals. Boobie Gibson. But we looking at the Celtics team. This is the most switchable team in the NBA. Gotta be the best shooting team in the NBA. Just based on the fact that all of them can do it. A team that can switch 1 through 5 and stretch the floor out 1 through 5 is automatically the most dangerous team in the NBA. Then you can add on to the fact that all of those players 1 through 5 are potential all-stars. Derek White probably being the lowest, obviously. But all of those players are potential all-stars. Derek White almost made the All-Star game this year as a role player. So I'm just saying, the Celtics have all the tools to win. If the Knicks go to the next round, they still have all the tools to win, and it's in their favor, and they're going to be healthier, and they're going to have more time to rest. There's no reason why they don't get to the finals, and there's no reason why they don't win the finals. The only reason they wouldn't have won the finals is because Jason Tatum underperformed, or Jaylen Brown underperformed, or whoever underperformed. But if the Celtics lose, 100% failure, big failure, huge failure. Like I can't even begin to understand or explain how disappointed I will be in the Celtics if they lost again this year. I'm not even rooting for them. I do kind of want them to lose, but yeah, nah, they got to do it this season because they haven't done it. They have not done it, and this is the best roster JT has had. I don't think you can possibly build a better roster around this core of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So if it don't work this season, I'm not saying blow it up because honestly, that's how NBA fans think. Oh, we lost, blow it up. I think if y'all lose, you run it back. There's nothing you can possibly do to make this roster better. Unless you want to completely get rid of Jaylen Brown and or Jason Tatum. Yeah. You run it back because I don't really see why you wouldn't. This team is built perfectly. You got the most switchable team in the league in an era where switching is probably the most important aspect to defense. And you got the best 1 through 5 shooting team in an era where shooting is the most important. So, I mean, there's really no reason. There's no reason. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the podcast. I was really chatting my ass off, getting into some ins and outs, some players that you probably wouldn't speak on a regular basis. Some Deuce McBride talk in there. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I definitely had fun chatting about the playoffs. Definitely having fun watching it. I'm looking forward to the games tonight, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.